While the world sleeps, a life-changing power awaits. Today, we reveal the true story of how waking up early transforms your entire world. Meet Thomas, a 32-year-old night shift security guard who always felt trapped in a never-ending cycle of poverty. Every single night, he walked the empty, cold hallways of a massive corporate building, wondering if his life would ever truly change. He watched the city sleep while he stayed awake, battling extreme exhaustion and a deep sense of hopelessness that haunted his soul. Returning to his tiny, dark apartment each morning, Thomas felt completely defeated by the heavy weight of unpaid bills and broken dreams. His meager salary barely covered his basic living expenses, leaving him absolutely no room to save money or plan for the future. He spent his days sleeping fitfully, waking up groggy and unmotivated, trapped in a dark room with the curtains tightly drawn shut. The world outside moved forward rapidly, but Thomas remained perfectly still, frozen in a miserable routine that slowly drained his youthful energy. He often looked at his reflection in the mirror, seeing a tired man who had completely given up on achieving anything great. Little did he know, a massive storm was quietly brewing on the horizon, ready to shatter his fragile reality into tiny pieces. The devastating turning point arrived abruptly when his beloved mother suddenly fell severely ill, requiring urgent medical attention and expensive hospital care. Standing outside the cold hospital room, Thomas held the massive medical bill in his trembling hands, feeling utterly helpless and deeply terrified. He looked through the glass window, watching his fragile mother sleep quietly, knowing he lacked the financial resources to save her life. Tears streamed down his tired face as he walked out of the hospital, wandering aimlessly into the chilly air of early dawn. He collapsed onto a solitary wooden park bench, burying his face in his hands, completely overwhelmed by the crushing weight of reality. As the morning mist slowly cleared, an elegantly dressed older gentleman silently took a seat on the exact same lonely wooden bench. This was Mr. Chun, a highly successful and respected businessman who radiated an aura of profound peace, immense wisdom, and quiet confidence. Mr. Chun noticed the deep despair in the young man and gently offered him a warm cup of freshly brewed black coffee. Thomas accepted the drink hesitantly, his hands shaking slightly as the comforting warmth slowly seeped into his freezing, exhausted, and weary bones. Looking at the beautiful rising sun, Mr. Chun spoke softly about a time when he too had nothing but endless, crushing debt. He explained that true success never simply arrives through pure luck or natural talent, but through deliberate actions taken in the shadows. The older man turned to Thomas, locking eyes with intense sincerity, and decided to reveal his ultimate secret to achieving financial freedom. He called it the concept of the magic hours, a sacred window of time existing quietly between 5 and 7 every morning. While the rest of the weary world is still deeply asleep, you must rise and diligently build the foundation of your future. Thomas listened intently, his tired mind desperately clinging to every single word like a drowning man holding tightly onto a life preserver. Mr. Chun drew a simple diagram on a small napkin, illustrating how ordinary people waste their most productive and valuable morning hours. He pointed out that dedicating just 2 focused hours every single dawn can fundamentally alter the entire trajectory of a human life. "Think about the mathematics of success," he whispered softly, his voice carrying the immense weight of decades of hard-earned business wisdom. 2 uninterrupted hours each morning equals 14 hours a week, giving you an unbelievable advantage over everyone else sleeping in their beds. Over the course of a single year, that daily commitment perfectly translates into 3 entire extra months of highly focused, productive work. Thomas stared at the numbers written on the napkin, realizing that time was the only true currency he had left to spend. "But how do I use this precious time effectively?" Thomas asked, his voice shaking with a fragile mixture of hope and fear. The wise mentor smiled warmly and revealed the golden formula, dividing those 2 magical morning hours into highly specific, life-changing segments. From 5 to 6 in the morning, you must dedicate your entire focus to aggressively building a valuable new professional career skill. Whether it is mastering a foreign language, learning complex software, or studying business strategies, this hour belongs strictly to your mental growth. You must completely isolate yourself from all digital distractions, turning off your phone and diving deeply into pure, uninterrupted, focused learning sessions. Then, from 6 to 7, you must shift your attention toward intensely strengthening both your physical body and your emotional mental resilience. Engage in vigorous physical exercise to pump fresh oxygen into your brain, followed by reading inspiring books and carefully planning your day. This powerful combination of intellectual expansion and physical vitality creates an unstoppable momentum that carries you triumphantly through any difficult daily challenges. Mr. Chun stood up slowly, placing a gentle hand on the young guard's shoulder, leaving him with one final piece of advice. The pain of discipline is incredibly light, but the pain of regret will fiercely crush your soul until the very last breath. With those profound words hanging in the morning air, the old man walked away, disappearing quietly into the vibrant golden sunrise glow. Thomas returned to his small apartment, his heart pounding with a strange new energy, determined to change his dark destiny right away. He adjusted his work schedule, fighting through extreme exhaustion, and set his digital alarm clock for exactly 5 in the early morning. Day 1 was absolute torture. His heavy eyelids desperately wanted to close, and his warm bed practically begged him to return immediately. But the haunting image of his sick mother resting in that sterile hospital bed forced him to push the heavy blankets aside. He washed his face with freezing cold water, shocking his tired system into a state of sharp, undeniable, and intense mental alertness. Sitting at his tiny kitchen table, illuminated only by a small desk lamp, he opened a thick textbook on advanced corporate accounting. He chose to study financial spreadsheets and complex data analysis, knowing these highly valued skills could eventually secure him a better position. The first few weeks were incredibly brutal, filled with frustrating moments where he stared blankly at confusing numbers on his computer screen. However, consistency slowly bred competence, and the once terrifying financial formulas gradually began making perfect logical sense to his rapidly expanding mind. At exactly 6 every morning, he closed his laptop and immediately transitioned into a rigorous, sweat-inducing home workout routine without hesitation. Push-ups, sit-ups, and lifting heavy water jugs transformed his weak, sluggish body into a strong, highly energetic, and powerful physical human machine. He finished each morning by reading a few pages of motivational philosophy, feeding his hungry soul with positive thoughts and strategic visions. By the time he walked into his regular security shift, he felt like a completely different person, armed with immense hidden knowledge. Days turned into weeks, and weeks quickly turned into months, marking a silent but spectacular evolution happening entirely behind closed apartment doors. Exactly 90 days after meeting Mr. Chun, Thomas noticed an internal job posting for a senior data analyst position within his company. He bravely submitted his application, attaching a highly detailed portfolio of complex financial models he had built during those quiet, early mornings. The hiring managers were absolutely shocked to discover that a lowly night guard possessed such advanced analytical skills and deep business understanding. During the rigorous interview process, Thomas spoke with profound confidence and crystal-clear clarity, effortlessly answering every single difficult technical question asked. His disciplined morning routine had not only taught him software skills, but had completely rewired his brain to handle massive corporate pressure. A few days later, he received the official letter offering him the prestigious analyst position, effectively doubling his previous meager monthly salary. Standing in his new, brightly lit office, wearing a sharp suit, Thomas looked out the massive glass window with tears of joy. He immediately rushed to the hospital, waving the signed employment contract in the air, bringing a beautiful smile to his mother's face. With his significantly increased income, he could finally afford the absolute best medical treatments, ensuring her steady and highly successful health recovery. The heavy burden of endless poverty had finally been lifted, replaced by a radiant sense of limitless possibility and profound inner peace. He realized that Mr. Chun was absolutely right. Those 2 silent morning hours had literally purchased him an entirely new, beautiful life. Now, even with his massive success, Thomas never stopped waking up at 5, guarding his sacred morning routine with fierce, unwavering dedication. He continued to learn, constantly expanding his valuable skills, knowing that the journey of self-improvement truly has no final finish line. One chilly morning, while jogging through the familiar park, he spotted a sad young man sitting alone on that exact same bench. Thomas smiled warmly, bought 2 cups of hot black coffee, and slowly approached the stranger, ready to pass on the golden secret. He sat down quietly, handed over the steaming cup, and pointed toward the magnificent golden sun rising beautifully over the sleeping city. "Your future is built in the quiet moments when nobody is watching," Thomas whispered, echoing the profound wisdom of his wise mentor. You possess the incredible power to completely rewrite your story, starting tomorrow morning at exactly 5, while the entire world remains asleep. Thank you for watching this inspiring journey. Remember to subscribe to Gentle Mind Shift for more powerful stories that transform your life.